Hi. Okay, it is time I record this clip on power on your brain and why it is so critically foundational, so important, and so under recognized by a lot of people that know this technique because they were told this power on your brain or turn on your brain or wake up your brain buttons or take care of switching. Um, they just learned it as a technique that helps with focus and concentration, but it does much, much more than that. All right, you must have a hand over your navel, or some people prefer the claw. You point your five fingertips around the navel. If you do not keep your hand on your navel while you do this method, you're basically activating acupuncture points, which is great. But when you do this, you're telling your brain that you're plugging into your power supply. And in combination with rubbing the kidney 27 points that are found just below the inner ends of the collarbone in the intermuscular area. Sorry, mine are really cockeyed since I've had my injury. There we go. You're going to be rubbing right in there, right against the breast. So here's the sternum or the breastbone. You want to be in the intermuscular area. So one thumb here, two fingers here, while one hand's on the navel, or you can do one side and then the other if that's more comfortable. So you're activating these and notice that they're on the right and left side of the body. And this, they know, is encouraging better communication, neurological connections between the right brain and the left brain. So if you know anybody that's a little too fluffy and flaky sometimes and way too much in the creative space and could use some grounding and being logical, or you know some people that are too logical and too serious and could use some connection to their creative brain, you want to introduce them to this activity because this helps those parts connect. So whenever you have a big challenge, isn't it great to use logic to a certain point, but then have that creative spark that goes, that's the secret ingredient, and voila, you've solved the challenge. Or you could be so creative about something, but you need structure to it. You need the logic. So your days will go along more easily if you activate these for about 20 seconds. So some people like to do with one hand for 10 seconds, switch hands, and do it again for about 10 more seconds with the other hand, which helps with the polarity of the body, but it is not essential. What's best is that you stimulate them for about 20 seconds, one way or the other. Now, if any points are ever tender, you're going to back off because when you create pain, you're stimulating the sympathetic nervous system and it wants to go into defense mode. So if it's very tender, just lighten up, and it's better to activate it for a few more seconds. The brain is going, something's happening. So remember again, while I was demonstrating this, I just wanted you to see where the points were. Always, 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 always have a hand on your navel so that you're connecting to the power source. It is just a really important part of the energetic nervous system when you put your hand on your navel. Makes your body kind of pay attention to what's coming up. All right, so then there are points below the nose. This is governing 26 and this is central vessel 24. You stimulate them like that. Now, what do you think is happening when you stimulate points that are stacked one upon the other like that? Hopefully you've all answered well, then it's helping messages go from the top of the brain down towards the brain stem and the limbic area, possibly unconscious processing, things like that. And the brainstem helps with breathing, circulation, homeostasis of the body, temperature control, muscular coordination, a couple of important things. And the limbic system is about, you pass right through there. That's a lot about managing your emotional state. So by doing this for 10 seconds and this for 10 seconds, you can help the messages traverse easily up and down and not get stuck in any one area. Then the third point is to put a hand at the back by the tailbone. And this one you can't rub. These ones we tend to rub circular. These ones we rub side to side because it's easier. And the ones on the tailbone, we rub up and down because it's easier. The point is to stimulate the acupressure point. It's not on the tip of the tailbone. Don't use too much pressure, because some people, the tailbone, they might have had an injury. You don't want to put any force whatsoever. You just have to wake up that acupuncture point to say, hey, hello, wake up. And what do you think happens if we're holding the front of the body and or rubbing a point on the back of the body at the same time? Right? You're helping. When we're stressed, we go into back brain. And when we work out solutions, we're working with the prefrontal cortex. So you're encouraging messages to traverse forwards and back so that you can access more of your brain resources for solving challenges. So yes, activating the points help with focus and concentration for sure. They'll help with decision making. They just to get your brain in gear. So imagine how much more efficient you'll be in your day if you spend a minute rubbing these points in the morning. Teach these points to other people. Now, the other thing that's underappreciated is these points are involved with neurological disorganization. And a brilliant story that I heard was with Dr. Charles Krebs, who's my mentor. He's an instructor of LEAP brain integration. So I take a neurology training with him. And he explained one day that they were all off at a course when he was in student days. And somebody came down from the bedrooms and said, that's the weirdest thing. I woke up on the side of my body, but I got all the pins and needles like I'm asleep on this side of my body. And he just went, well, that's because of switching. So he says, do this, hold your navel and rub here. And after several seconds, she goes, that is just so weird, because the sensation of the pins and needles switched to the other side of the body. So it's not that the other side of the body suddenly became asleep. It's because the nervous signals were miswired. And so now they went, oh, I'm supposed to be on the opposite side of the body. So imagine how many people in therapy go, oh, this hurts. So they work here. But what if the signals are saying this hurts because this guy's overloaded and the signals just went, I don't want to talk to that side of the body. I will report on the other side of the body. So just think how profound that is. If we do all this before we do any muscle testing and muscle tuning, this is why you get more accurate results, is because now what you observe is happening in real time. The muscle you are testing is the muscle you're intending to test, is the muscle that's reporting, and the muscle that if you're going to do any corrections on, that is the muscle that's going to receive the benefit. So very, very important lesson. Thank you for listening. I can't tell you how important it is that if you think your muscle testing is going wonky in the middle of a session, just stop and say, let's go back to this pre-tuning thing. You don't have to tell them you're pre-tuning because now you're in the middle of things. Just go back to that, because some people are so neurologically disorganized that you'll start getting weird responses and you're going to go, am I doing it wrong? No, you're not doing anything wrong. Their body's just gone into some kind of reaction where things are switched. And so if you should always test something with, I wonder what will happen attitude, but sometimes you're going, what the hell is going on? Then just go back and do the basics. And then their brain will start to talk to you more clearly. And in the original recording, I truly believe I used the words honestly. And so this is the next layer for you to hear. Do it on yourself daily. You'll be more productive. Teach it to everybody you know. If you go to network events, you've got clients, you've got kids that are in learning mode, adults in learning mode. How many of us are in Zoom and we're going, oh, if you want to be able to accept the information, turn on your brain, power it on. Okay, take care, everybody.